What's going on, everybody? Yeah, Max Everett Maxwell here. So, it's currently like 5:46 in the morning. I really couldn't get this out of my head. Um, and I think this would also just be, really important for my audience because um, this is not acknowledged enough in society. This is not acknowledged enough in households or just, life in general, school in general. And the fact is, narcissistic abuse is real. Uh, and I've gone through so much of it growing up that I had no idea, what it was. Um, the reason why my uploads have been so inconsistent. One, yes, it has been because of school, and also just because I've been, the enemy has been sending a lot of narcissists in my life, mostly because there's a lot I still need to work through, kind of internally in terms of my belief system in order to stop attracting people who are that way. And this was a yearly process. Like, kind of the slower that I found out what my purpose was, the more I kind of started to pick up on it. But part of me was still in denial because, talking about narcissistic abuse is obviously not a mainstream subject. And kind of a part of it is kind of going in short with this. The people that are in higher power, the government, they are narcissists themselves. And, they will, that sort of trait is carried on in kind of the hierarchies in the world we live in. So it's sort of a trait that's passed down that people don't realize. And I just say that because, yeah, that kind of, those events that have occurred over the years have just they've kind of influenced how I talk to people. I'm not to say like I've treated, people bad, but it's more like it's affected the kind of tender masculine traits that I want to acquire. Like, I feel like I've been overly nice. It's been really hard to shake that because when you are, growing up and with like kind of in a narcissistic environment, even if, and I'm bringing this all up mostly because I'm not trying to like expose anybody. This is just kind of self-awareness because, people can always grow and change, and I'm grateful for that, people that have grown and changed from it. It's more of, the past shapes you. Not to say you can't change it, but the past does certainly shape you. And I have, and it's just kind of, I kind of feel like this is just make this video for the sake of, anybody who's gone through that. I don't know if I just mentioned that already, but because, it's like close to 6 in the morning, I'm not kind of, thinking straight or, remembering as clearly, but, it's like, I think part of it, part of kind of not being as uh, feeling like there was always some sort of like obstacle I've gone through, kind of the obstacle. I felt like every almost every year in high school, I kind of had to deal with somebody that was a narcissist. And one could say, yeah, you know, people in high school are just jerks to begin with because, hormones, um, you know, that's that factor comes into play. And then the other aspect is, other facet I would mention is even when I got to college, um, I dealt I felt like I dealt with like a narcissist every, um, I think, no, almost every quarter, like in the beginning, I would say during the pandemic era for my freshman year, um, there was just a lot of, stuff I was going through mentally, and a lot of outside of it was, so it was just kind of me coming to terms with myself, and then outside of that was was just was just kind of kind of having the narcissist just coincidentally being, not coincidentally, but it's just like I would be attracting narcissists because of, what mental baggage I was carrying, because, we don't realize it, but how we think is who we attract into our lives. Yeah, who we attract into our lives. And, when I went through that for what, it doesn't feel like that long, but like for this kind of decade, I felt like it's been like that kind of all this is like the fourth year, like it's been like that for the fourth year. But I've definitely noticed this year there's been a big shift, mostly because there, kind of one thing I've learned when it comes to dealing with narcissists is that the more you grow, and I don't know if I already mentioned this. I probably did like a short tidbit earlier, but the more, you grow in your purpose, the less narcissists you attract. Well, actually, the more narcissists you attract, the more you grow in your purpose. But I think it all just depends upon the circumstances, because if your mindset, if you're like, if your mentality, this is not coming from me, this is all coming from inspiration. There's this content creator, his name's Thaddeus Mitchell. Highly recommend him, Thaddeus Mitchell. And there's one video where he was talking about how just kind of the way you carry yourself, the way you think, kind of see, what is it? Say it could just be the if you're kind of you kind of need some, if you're somebody who feels just like they need validation in order to feel comfortable with themselves, like your sense of identity is solely based on other people, then those are like two aspects of, you're going to attract more narcissists, because there are narcissists who will kind of, as the Bible quotes, well, I don't know if the Bible mentions narcissists in particular, but there's that quote. I really have to look back in the specific citation, but it's about with anybody, both man and woman, but there's the strange woman that pertains to kind of the beginning is as sweet as honey, but the end is as bitter as wormwood, meaning that the person you're in a relationship with, the beginning, the person will have qualities of, like, they'll kind of be overly affectionate. They'll give you all the attention in the world. They'll just flood you with compliments, even if you've never met this person before, and even if this person like has never met you before. They'll just go out of way to flood you with as many compliments as you can, to flatter you, to get your attention, to give and so you can give them attention. And then at one point, when you're not meeting that person's expectations, they will they will take the blame on you out of nowhere, for seemingly no reason, but for narcissists, it's all about attention seeking. And I bring all of this up because, not to say people should feel bad about, circumstances they had in the past, thinking, you're kind of wishing their life was different, like, oh, I wish, I didn't, I hadn't grown up with these people, I should have been this, should have been that. God has a reason for your upbringing, because, like, if it weren't for circumstances I've gone through in the past, I wouldn't be making this video right now, close to 6 in the morning. And what's that? Yeah, it is just, I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know, because I know there's something else I want to say. I know some people are going to understand this, some people aren't, and that is completely fine by me. Like I mentioned, we're not taught this in school, and knowledge that we take the thinking to the critical thinking to kind of figure out ourselves. We're gonna be looked at funny, with kind of revelations like this. We're gonna be thought that, you're just projecting, you're just projecting your own issues, blah blah blah. But I think the more self-aware we are about, our circumstances in our lives, the more initiative we can take to live the lives that we want and develop the relationships that we want. And because I think a lot of people like to settle. They think, oh, so-and-so is just this way. There's nothing you can change about the person, and they just rather deal with somebody, who makes the environment tense and just kind of, the repeating cycle of, like, somebody being, stressed all the time. And, I will never understand how people can live like that. I mean, I think it maybe depends upon people's level of awareness. I'm not saying nobody's stupid or anything. I think it's just people are on different levels of kind of emotional intelligence. I think people who are not as emotionally intelligent are not going to be affected by narcissists as much. They'll just kind of see the person as, oh, person's at it again. They're kind of complaining about, I don't know, the rotten groceries. That's a typical day for so-and-so. But for us, like, people, like, I'm just going to kind of say it, like, for the chosen ones, because the chosen ones are really, by what I mean by chosen ones, are just kind of anybody who's woken up to the world that we live in and want to kind of search for meaning and find meaning. And, chosen ones can be anybody. For those of us who want to not settle and to keep striving and growing, we're going to be more aware of this. We're going to be kind of so shocked that people can, live with narcissists and not really kind of do anything. They'll just settle with it. As chosen ones, we will do everything we can to want to have a healthier upbringing for our children, and to, give other people the benefit of the doubt. Like us as chosen ones, we want to lift people up. We want to inspire people that we meet. We want to, help those we come across. We want to just spread good energy. We want to get to know other people. It's not about us at all. It's about the experiences we make and what we put out there for other people. And, that's something a narcissist will never understand. They will never understand that, of course, a narcissist can be, not to say that they're going to be perpetually like that their whole lives, but a narcissist will, with the beginning, it really depends upon the person, but narcissist who never changes and never realizes that they're a narcissist, they'll just kind of perpetually go living out their whole life lost, kind of leeching off the energy from other people, kind of, being the victim, blaming the other person. It's all about the purposes, really just kind of a vengeful way of thinking. Like, it's all about me, and if people don't talk about, if people don't, if people have a problem with me, it's their problem, like this is just in the terms of like what how the narcissist would think, I think. But of course, there's also the I guess you could say the inciting incident, where when the narcissist does become aware about who like when something, some event in their life kind of opens up their awareness and kind of gets them, kind of thinking and growing. I have no idea, what percentage that is with narcissists, because I think, but really though, when somebody stands their ground and tells them, kind of is upfront about how that person's acting, then that, the narcissist just gets a rude awakening. They kind of have no choice but to grow. It's all about how, how the kind of, you have to kind of give them the harsh truth. That's just with anything, really. You got to give people the hard truth in order for people to grow. Because the more that you feed people comforting lies, the more that gives them permission to keep acting the same way. And then, the same cycle repeats. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to make this video. It's crazy, this is like close to 20 minutes. But it was just a lot on my mind. I actually couldn't sleep because this was kind of raging around in my mind. And I think one thing that I kind of want to bring forward is that I think it's important but it is important for us to heal, you know, photos of narcissistic abuse. Because if we don't heal, then we're just going to be overly paranoid about people, and we're going to kind of be suspicious about people kind of being overly nice to us. We're going to wonder if they have ulterior motives, not because, you know, the person actually does, but we kind of, from when it comes to narcissistic abuse, there's the inclination to interpret like other kind of people's excessive, this is the thing, there's a difference between like people who are kind of excessive, like you kind of pick up the red flag right away if the person's kind of excessively kind of like not saying people can't, but it's like the compliments just keep coming and coming and coming, and it's kind of overbearing. But it's sort of like if the compliments are kind of spread out. I know it sounds like I'm micromanaging how I'm wording it, but like, say if you're meeting somebody and that person's kind of a complete stranger, you have no idea who they are. You're not going to be like, you know, it's like, so you shake somebody's hand, you know, say, you know, a guy's meeting another, you know, guy, and like, you know, they're having like an interview or something. The guy's not going to shake the person's hand. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, you're so lovely, you're so beautiful, you're so, you know, you're just, you know, I just want to kiss you, you know, or something like that. You know, like upon first meeting the person, you're not going to say that right away. And if somebody does say that right away, you know, you really would have no choice, but you're gonna be, you know, you're gonna not, it's hard to not be skeptical. I think that's just something that the narcissists don't understand, is that, like, you know, like they're shocked that, I mean, it also could just be, the thing is, like, I know I'm kind of putting in like a blanket statement such as that, narcissist, because it couldn't, you know, there's a difference between somebody's a narcissist and somebody who is just, I'll say neurotypical, you know, because, you know, you have people out there who, you know, there's different, like, kind of disabilities of how people think, and that's kind of, you know, different from how, not neurotypical, neurodivergent, different from how other, like, kind of the majority of people think. So it's kind of tough to say, really, because not to kind of make people who are neurodivergent like feel bad. I think it's just more about, it's just kind of more about, like, I think it's all about the actions that transpire over time, because not everybody who gives constant compliments has, like, makes them immediately have traits of the narcissist. It's something I want to add as I'm going along, because it all depends upon the actions that the person does, like, in the future. If there's the gaslighting part, if there is the kind of the silent treatment part. Those are just two examples. Like, these are kind of all information I've just gathered over the years, I'm just expressing in this video. But, like, this is just so far, with, like, 2 relationships that I've had. One I don't even know if it was a relationship. It was really confusing, but that's just sort of it's all dependent upon the person, but that's kind of the pattern I've noticed, where, like, both of the people I've had like, was like, you know, romantically involved with, in a way, had that quality of kind of oversharing, oversharing compliments, kind of oversharing their life story, also like emotional baggage. So it's kind of like, it's like I'm just picking up the pieces right away, really. But yeah, I know I'm kind of using the word I a lot in this video. I think that's just because I'm just kind of sharing my personal experience, you know, way that's personal to me, but also is some kind of, you know, kind of want to see if this is something that other people can relate to in this video. So yeah, that's basically it. This was just a lot that was on my mind, but at the same time, I knew I couldn't help but not make this, because I knew that God wanted me to make this. It was on my heart, and I just pray that this gives some insight and wisdom for those who are also going through the same thing. So, you know, with that being said, Max Everett Maxwell signing out, and back to bed.